It's that time. Welcome to Roadmap. How to take 3 listings a week until you're ready for more. Each week we interview a great agent who's consistently taking several listings each month. And we have an exciting guest today because it's the lead follow-up show. This is a very important show. It's a short show and take some quick notes and you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 nuggets that you can use forever to take at least 1 extra listing a month. 1 extra listing a month. So, pen and paper or keyboard ready? All righty. Let me introduce my co-host from San Diego, Carley Hathaway. That's carleyhathaway.com. Hi, Carley. How's the real estate business?
Hey, Ren. Hey, everybody. Real estate is fabulous. San Diego is a great place to be for real estate right now, mainly because everyone's moving away. So it's perfect for a listing agent.
How about that?
Yeah.
More room for you. There you go. So,
I'm really excited for today's show because I'm sure, like a lot of people, lead follow-up is my biggest weakness because it's boring. So I'm excited.
Good. And are you going to wear your orange cape? You know, Vulcan's, don't you wear that orange Vulcan 7 cape?
I do have my cape. It's at the dry cleaners, though. So maybe
it's at the dry cleaners? Okay. I want to remind everybody we simulcast the show on the private Lead Gen Facebook group. They have 52,000 members, so we have a large audience there today as well. And we'll be pausing for a commercial message during the show as a thank you to the Lead Gen folks. So let's dive into it. Lead follow-up. And if people want to follow along, we have the Prospector's Creed, and you can get your copy at vulcan7.com/dirt. And you may want to download it, print it out, and put it on the wall. So, you know, it's a lot of fun. Lead follow-up is where all the money is. When you think about sales and persuasion, we're having a conversation to illuminate that part of somebody's mind that wants to move forward with a purchase or a sale. Now, a lot of the folks on this program watch to become a strong listing agent. Buyers take time, listings take skill. So you want to be a strong listing agent, carry a lot of inventory so that when you're gone on the weekends, that you've had 3 or 4 sales. Try to do that with buyers. Not easy. So lead follow-up is a critical piece, and it's the gold. 75% of all business comes from lead follow-up. So we have to get good at it. Number one, we have to do it. And so it all starts with the definition of a lead, Carley. So when we look at the definition of a lead, we're looking for an answer like someone that would buy or sell within blank days.
I think 7 to 10 days.
7 to 10 days. I know you say that. Everybody else is going to say you're crazy. Now, if somebody in your database says we're going to do something in the spring, it's a lead and it's not. It's a note and you're already in touch with them and you may put it in a special category, but it's not in your hot leads list. You're going to mark it separately because you've got a long period of time and a lot of things change.
Yeah.
And you're going to track that a little more closely along with the rest of your database.
Right, but you're not going to be called.
But it's not in your hot leads list. Oh, they're going to do something next 9 months from now. It's not one you carry around. So when we look at that, we used to do a little chart. If your goal is to sell 20 homes, your listing is anybody, anytime, anywhere. If your goal is to sell 50 homes, you may want to, a lead may be anybody that's going to do something in the next 30 to 45 days. If your goal is 100 homes, it's going to be somebody who's going to do something in 10 days to 2 or 3 weeks. If your goal is 150 and up, your goal is somebody that's going to buy or sell in the next week, 7 to 10 days. So that begs the question, how many leads do you have? So when we ask people how many leads they have, the people that aren't doing much will tell you they have 800 leads or 300 leads.
Yeah.
Those are not leads. How do we say? That's basically their database. Those are suspects. They haven't identified themselves with an immediate need to buy or sell to move forward. These are people we're touching as part of our database, and everybody's going to buy or sell sometime. So yeah, those are not leads. So typical answer, how many leads do you have, Carly?
Probably 4.
4, right. Somebody that's going to buy in the next 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that is a reasonable number. And we're looking at it, we're staying in touch because that lead follow-up is critical. We have to keep following up. The best way to look at when someone says, "Oh, I don't want to bother people." They know I'm available. I approached them once, and I don't want to keep checking in because they'll think I'm being pushy or I'm a pest or something like that. Then wear the shoes on the other side of the fence. Be that other person. Can you remember somebody that approached you? You didn't make an immediate decision. You're thinking about it, and they won't call you. They won't touch in. They won't email. They won't text. They won't call. They won't stop by. And you're thinking, I'm ripe for the picking, but they're not talking to me.
Yeah. And then someone else will just happen to call at the right time, and you go with them.
Yeah. And a lot of times people haven't made the final decision. Carly, I got to tell you, a lot of times they would decide when I called.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they decided.
Because it's on their mind.
How does your schedule look for next Thursday? Well, hold on. Okay, how about 4:00? Okay. Exactly. So it's important to check in and sometimes call from different numbers because they might just go, I don't know what I want to do if they see your call come up. So it's a powerful tool.
Yeah, definitely.
So if we're carrying our hottest leads, let's say you have your 4. Well, let's say you had 8 or 9 or 10. You're carrying them around. And I checked with you a month later and looked at your leads list, and they were mostly the same names. What would that tell us?
Those were not strong leads, or I did not call them.
Yes, probably both. So because if you still have them 4 weeks later, they were not what you say. It's usually an indication you're not talking to enough people. So if you are carrying your leads around and 4 weeks later you got the same leads, it means you're not talking to enough people. Because a month later, it should be a whole new list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
The people carry them around. I got my lead, but we have to keep taking in new people. If you're talking to, say, 20 a day, that's 100 a week. That's 400 a month. You've talked to 400 people and you still got the same lead list. Nobody new came in.
Yeah.
Nobody new went off. This is a game of old maid here, folks. But it's really important to keep that rotating.
Yeah. And if it is a hot lead that you're carrying around, how often do you suggest we call them?
It's going to depend on the source. If they're an expired listing or a for sale by owner, here is an active house sitting there and they just came off the market, or they're for sale by owner and they're sitting there. That is hot. You got to be talking to them, every day.
Yeah.
If they are someone you sold or somebody and it may be more like every week, something like that. Mm-hmm. It just depends on where they are in the spectrum of things.
Yeah.
But if they were already in movement, like a for sale owner expired, that's days, not weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to touch on motivating people on the Prospector's Creed. It's kind of fun. Everybody should download this. Vulcan7.com/dirt.
I love this.
Every mine has more dirt than gold. A prospector's job is to remove dirt as quickly as possible, leaving the gold behind.
So you got to dig through that dirt.
A prospector who analyzes every speck of dirt won't find much gold. You run into people that are prospecting and they shadow you, you shadow them. You ever see somebody they're researching before they make the call? I wonder when they bought it. How much they paid for it. I wonder what their loan amount is.
Yeah.
They're talking themselves out of it. That's a form of call reluctance.
Yeah, it's like paralysis by analysis. And it's like they'll have a couple calls and I'm like, oh, I really like that street. Let me dive deep into that expired. And they start looking on the MLS. They start looking on pictures.
Right.
Like you've already wasted 20 minutes. You could have called 30 people by now.
Right. So what's been proven is don't do the research. Talk to them, and ask.
Do the research after.
Right. And then it's alchemy doesn't work. No one can turn dirt into gold. We can't motivate people, folks. We can't motivate someone who says they're going to sell and they're wishy-washy. Well, my wife wants to, and the wife wants to, and the husband doesn't. You can't motivate them. You can't motivate them. Basically, you're going to rule them out. You can't motivate them. You're looking for, are they ready to go? If they're waffling, throw them around. Your best tool is a very large trash can. That's your best tool.
Exactly. Yeah.
So throw them away. Don't get mad at dirt for being dirt. Move on for the gold, as it says right here in the Prospector's Creed. So it's real important to focus on the people you can help because they want to go. You're not trying to talk them into anything. You won't find these people on the candy aisle at the checkout down low where the kids, that's an impulse buy. Hershey bar, Snickers, those are impulse buys. These sellers and buyers are not impulse buys.
Yeah.
Some dirt hides more gold than other dirt. That means if you're not good at your people skills, if you're not good at asking questions, getting in rapport, you need to work on that so you can find asking better questions. Like a better question. Here's a good question. Write this one down. How will your next home be different than the one you're living in today? Ask anybody that question. How will your next home be different than the one you're living in today? You want to get a good conversation started. How about that one, Carly?
Yeah, agreed. And I think too, when you're in the discussion, you have to be excited for them. You can't be like, okay, that's great, and then on to the next question. It needs to be real excitement to get them thinking that you're really interested in the conversation.
Well, generally, it's always a series of questions. That question begs the next question, which begs the next question. So if you're doing it right, you're not passing on to the next question. You're drilling down. Just say, well, how will your next home be different than one you're living in today? Well, I won't be surrounded by all these neighbors. Really? Tell me more about that. Well, we're thinking we want to move out into the country. How exciting.
Yeah.
What draws you out to the country? Well, when we got married, we decided we wanted to have a farm one day, and now the kids are 17 and 19, and we're going to get that farm. Wonderful. Have you seen anything you're interested in now? What part of town would you live in? All those questions connect.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Agents are afraid to dig deep for motivation because they are afraid they will find out that they have no lead.
That's very, very true. And I am guilty of that as well, because you're so excited that they are talking to you and you kind of know in the back of your mind it's not a good lead, but you're like, I'm just going to keep going. It's kind of like how you don't want to ask the pre-qual questions because you don't want to know the truth.
Yes. Right. And it's important to have those pre-qual questions ready to go. And as we dig deeper, and here's so folks, if you want to dig deeper, just write this down, because in general, this is what you're saying. And what's important about blank? What's important about moving out to the country? Well, there are less people around. And what's important about that? Well, we've always wanted to find. What's important about that? You take them down to the deepest level. They will feel a kinship with you. And then you're in rapport. And a lot of wonderful things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can use those tools later to help you close. Well, wouldn't it be exciting if you were out in the country away from your neighbors and let's just get the contract signed?
That's it. There you go. And then you always close. I'm glad we're talking. Great. Let's see. To get you one step closer to the country and those pigs and chickens and cows and birds, all we need to do now is set an appointment so I can help you get out to the country by this summer. Won't that be great? Here. How does your schedule look for Thursday, or would Friday be better?
Exactly.
There you go. Perfect.
Dig deeper. I agree with that one.
Right. So we need to keep moving through the leads, throwing them away, getting new leads, and then check your hot leads list. You may want to lay them out. Is this a good sign? If you look at your hot leads list week by week by week, and every day, this is what I always did for many years. I write down, pull out a blank sheet of paper. What is my number one hottest lead? The Morrises. And then the Morrises have said they're ready to put their home on the market today or tomorrow. And I would put a percentage next to them. 90% odds I was going to get it. What was my second hottest lead? The Andersons. The Andersons I've talked to twice. They're checking with this or that. I put a 75% odds. And then number 3, and I would make a list every day. Every day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the hottest leads. And then that reinforced it in my mind.
Yeah.
And when I wasn't able to make a good list with percentages I was truly happy with, I was like, oh, I better talk to more people.
Yeah.
So
get on the phone.
and that's, I mean, if you're going to take 10, 12 listings a month, this is what you got to do.
And you know what I do too is I put the commission I would make if I close them, because that's a lot of incentive for me, because I'm really money driven. We know that.
if there's call reluctance, put a dollar amounts by it, because that will get you called.
Exactly.
All righty, good folks. So hopefully some of these notes helped. Set up a good lead follow-up system. You know, the lead follow-up system, Carly, is one of the things that people struggle with when they're newer in the business. They'll set up an electronic folder, a manual folder for somebody, and then that lead goes poof. And then so we have to keep it simple. These are simple entries that you got to make lots of, because these things go poof. Don't dedicate a whole electronic folder to this one person, because odds are not good you will still have them as a lead tomorrow. You know, just set up 4 or 5 things on an electronic file, or a 3x5 file, or whichever you prefer, and make them easy to read. Look at them all day. Look at them every day. Look at your hottest leads. Go through that 8, 10, 12. Your database is not your lead list. Those are not leads. That's your database.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to flag your hottest ones in the database, because you're talking to them and communicating with them all the time. So good. Glad everybody could join us for this show. And I want to thank Aaron Wittenstein for airing it on his LGSO group. If you want to get involved with them and watch this show on that private group, 52,000 people, all about lead generation. They're at facebook.com/groups/got objections. And if you're watching on this group and you're not involved with Vulcan 7, go to vulcan7.com/lead gen for a special deal. And then finally, the secret the top agents have that are listing a lot of property, they have a secret. Some of you know this secret. They, after they do their lead generation, they go to the refrigerator and get delicious Graeter's mint chocolate chip. If you go to Graeters.com, you can find this ice cream anywhere in North America. They have it at the Seaside Market, not too far from you, Carly, and several other places that have yet to be discovered in San Diego. So this is the one for listing agents. The other ones, other flavors are for working with buyers, like Rocky Road and things like that. So if the listing is slow to sell, and this works, folks, dig a hole in the front yard, bury it upside down, and that listing will sell just like that.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for being here. Next week, we have an exciting guest who is taking 2, 3, 4 listings every week, and we're looking forward to interviewing them, and I know you'll want to be there for that. See you next week, folks.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.